When it comes to relationships, one of the most overlooked yet most powerful things you can do is to make a woman feel truly seen and truly heard. I don't mean just nodding your head while she's talking, waiting for your turn to reply. I don't mean glancing at your phone while she's sharing something important. I mean giving her the type of attention that makes her feel like in that moment she is the most important person in your world. When you can create that feeling for her, she will never forget it. Think about it for a second. Most women go through their days surrounded by people who only half listen. Friends are distracted. Colleagues are busy. Family members rush conversations. The truth is, everyone is so wrapped up in their own thoughts that very few people actually pause to give undivided attention. And when a man steps in and does the opposite, when he listens in a way that shows her he values not just her words, but also her emotions, her perspective, her soul, that's when something shifts inside her. That's when she feels that spark, that pull, that deep connection that makes her think, this man is different. It's not about agreeing with everything she says. In fact, sometimes disagreeing respectfully shows even more that you're paying attention. It's about showing her that her words matter. When she's telling you about her day, don't just hear the surface level story. Listen for the feelings underneath. If she says, work was crazy today, you could just nod, or you could lean in and ask, what made it feel so overwhelming? That one extra question tells her you're not just passively listening. You care about what's happening in her inner world. And that care is what sets you apart. When a woman feels seen, she feels safe enough to open up. And when she feels heard, she feels cherished. Most men underestimate the power of this. They think big gestures, expensive gifts, or flashy displays are what win a woman over. But the truth is, the simple act of paying attention at a deep level does more than any bouquet of roses ever could. Because what you're really saying is, I value you. I respect you. I want to understand you. That, my friends, is priceless. I've seen it countless times. A woman will describe how she fell in love. And she won't always say it was because of the way he looked or the money he had or the car he drove. No, she'll say things like, he listens to me like no one else does, or when I talk to him, I feel like the only woman in the world. Those statements reveal what truly matters at the core of attraction. So what does it mean to make her feel seen? It means you notice the little things that most people overlook. If she changes her hairstyle, you don't let it slide. You acknowledge it. If she mentions her favorite coffee once, the next time you see her, you remember. If she talks about something that excites her, you lean into that excitement with her. Women notice when you notice, and it tells them you're not just present physically, you're present emotionally, and making her feel heard. That comes from active listening, not waiting to respond, not cutting her off to share your story, but giving her space to express herself fully. Sometimes it's about listening without even offering advice. So many men want to fix problems right away, but often what a woman wants isn't a solution, it's understanding. She wants to feel like you're walking alongside her in that moment, not trying to drag her out of it. When you get that balance right, you'll see her relax in your presence. She'll trust you more. She'll open her heart more. Here's the magic part when a woman feels seen and heard. She connects that feeling with you. She doesn't just remember the conversation, she remembers how you made her feel during the conversation. That emotional imprint is powerful. It's what makes her want to be around you, what makes her crave more of your energy, and what makes her start to think about you even when you're not there. And let me be clear, it's not about pretending. You can't fake genuine interest because eventually she will feel the difference. It's about truly deciding to care, about realizing that every time she shares something with you, it's an opportunity to strengthen the connection. It's a chance to show her she's not invisible, that her thoughts matter, that her emotions are important. If you can master this one thing, if you can make her feel truly seen and deeply heard, you don't have to try so hard in other areas. Because what women crave most isn't perfection, it isn't constant entertainment, and it isn't even endless compliments. What they crave is connection. And connection starts the moment she feels you are fully present with her. So ask yourself, when she talks, do you really listen? When she shares, do you make her feel validated? Do you make eye contact, lean in, put away distractions, and give her your undivided attention? Because those small choices add up to a massive impact. The men who get this right are the men who never have to question whether she's interested, Because she will naturally gravitate toward them. Why? Because deep down, every woman is looking for that one person who sees her not just as another face in the crowd, but as someone worthy of focus, worthy of care, and worthy of love. And when you become that man, when you give her that feeling, you won't need to chase her. She will be drawn to you effortlessly because she'll know she has found something rare. She has found someone who sees her and someone who hears her. That is the feeling that makes women go crazy about you. If there is one feeling that makes a woman's heart open even wider, it is the feeling of safety and respect. You see, for a woman, attraction is not just about looks, charm, or status. It is about how she feels when she is around you. If she feels secure in your presence, if she feels respected for who she is and what she values, that's when she starts to connect with you on a deeper level. Without safety, love cannot breathe. Without respect, attraction cannot grow. Now, when I talk about safety, I don't just mean physical protection, although that can be part of it. I mean emotional safety. The kind of safety that makes her feel like she can be her authentic self with you. Too many women go through life putting up walls, wearing masks, hiding parts of who they are because they've learned that if they show too much, someone might judge them, dismiss them, or worse, use their vulnerability against them. And when you become the man who allows her to lower those walls, when you make her feel like it's safe to be real, she will never forget that. Imagine this. She's had a long, exhausting day, and she opens up about something that frustrated her. Now, a man who doesn't understand this point might roll his eyes, tell her she's overreacting, or immediately try to dismiss her feelings. But the man who makes her feel safe will do the opposite. He'll listen without judgment. He'll let her express herself fully, and instead of making her feel small, he'll make her feel validated. That simple choice tells her she can trust you with her emotions. It says, you don't need to hide here. You don't need to pretend. You can be you. Respect flows naturally out of safety. Respect means you don't try to control her, you don't belittle her, and you don't take her for granted. Respect means you honor her boundaries, her time, and her choices. When you treat her as an equal, when you admire not just her beauty, but her mind, her strength, and her individuality, she feels that deeply. And when a woman feels respected, she feels valued. When she feels valued, she opens her heart even wider. The beautiful part is this: women don't forget how you make them feel. If she feels that being around you means she is safe from judgment, safe from emotional harm, and respected in every sense, she will attach that feeling to you. And believe me, that feeling is addictive. Because sadly, not every man offers it. Many women go through relationships where they're talked over, ignored, or even made to feel less than. So when she encounters someone who gives her the opposite, security and respect, it's like a breath of fresh air. She can't help but be drawn to it. Think about how powerful this really is. When a woman feels safe with you, she laughs more freely. She shares more openly. She lets you into the parts of her heart that no one else sees. And when she feels respected, she trusts that she doesn't need to fight for her worth in your presence. She doesn't need to prove anything. She doesn't need to dim her light just to make you comfortable. She can stand tall, be her fullest self, and know that you will still honor her. That is when she begins to see you differently. That is when she begins to think, I want to be with this man, not because I need him, but because I feel better, stronger, and freer when I am with him. Do you see how magnetic that is? You don't have to force attraction. You don't have to play games. You just have to give her what most men don't, the assurance that in your presence, she is safe and she is respected. And don't underestimate the little things. Respect is often shown in small, consistent actions. It's the way you listen without interrupting. It's the way you honor her boundaries without pushing. It's the way you speak about her when she's not in the room. It's the way you support her dreams rather than dismiss them. Each of these moments may seem small, but they build a foundation of trust. And trust is the bedrock of true connection. Now, some men think that creating this kind of safety means being overly soft, losing their edge, or becoming a pushover. That's not true at all. In fact, real strength is what allows a man to create this environment. It takes strength to be patient, strength to control your temper, strength to listen without judgment, strength to show consistency in your actions. Women aren't drawn to weakness. They're drawn to the kind of strength that makes them feel secure, the kind of strength that doesn't need to dominate or control, but instead supports and uplifts. The respect piece also works both ways. When you give respect, you naturally earn it in return. A woman who feels respected by you will respect you more deeply. She'll admire you not just for what you do, but for who you are. And that admiration turns into attraction. That attraction grows into love. And that love deepens into loyalty. When you give a woman this gift of safety and respect, you don't just win her attention. You win her trust, her admiration, and her desire to be near you. You win the part of her that she doesn't give easily to anyone. And that is priceless. So let me leave you with this. When you become the man who makes a woman feel safe and respected, you become unforgettable. One of the deepest desires every woman carries, whether she openly admits it or not, is the need to feel desired and appreciated. And when I say desired, I don't just mean in a physical sense, although that is part of it. I'm talking about a level of desire that goes beyond appearances. It's about making her feel like she is wanted, cherished, and chosen, not just once, but over and over again. Appreciation and desire together create a powerful energy between two people, and when a woman feels them from you, she can't help but be drawn closer. Think about it. So many women go through life giving their best, caring for others, putting effort into their careers, their families, their relationships, and yet they rarely hear words that make them feel genuinely appreciated. They rarely encounter someone who looks at them with eyes that say, "You are exactly what I want." And when you become the man who gives her that, who makes her feel desired in a way that is sincere and steady, you become unforgettable. Desire is about energy. It's about the way you look at her, the way you touch her, the way you express yourself in small gestures that tell her, "You matter to me." Women notice these things. She notices if your eyes light up when she walks into a room. She notices if you put effort into showing her affection, not just in private, but also in simple, everyday ways. When she feels that energy from you, she feels alive, she feels attractive. And most importantly, she feels wanted. But desire without appreciation can feel shallow. That's why the two must go hand in hand. Appreciation is about more than compliments. It's about gratitude. It's about acknowledging who she is and what she brings into your life. It's telling her you value not only how she looks, but the way she thinks, the way she cares, the way she inspires you. Women crave that recognition because it tells them they are not invisible. It tells them their efforts, their love, and their presence are noticed and treasured. When you combine desire and appreciation, you create a powerful emotional impact. Imagine this: she spends time getting ready, and when you see her, instead of a casual, "You look nice," you look at her and say, "Wow, you take my breath away every time." That moment makes her feel desired. Then later, when she tells you about something she accomplished at work or a challenge she overcame, you don't just nod and move on. You stop and say, "I'm really proud of you. I admire how hard you work and how much you care." That makes her feel appreciated. Those two together, that's what makes her think about you long after you've left the room. So many men underestimate how much these small expressions matter. They think, "She already knows how I feel. I don't need to keep saying it." But here's the truth. Just because she knows doesn't mean she doesn't want to feel it. Just because she's heard it once doesn't mean she doesn't want to hear it again. Women thrive on emotional reminders. And when you give them consistently, you create a rhythm of connection that keeps her heart engaged. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean being fake or saying things you don't mean. Women can sense empty flattery. It's about being genuine, about noticing the things you truly value about her, and then expressing them. If you admire her laugh, tell her. If you love the way she supports you, acknowledge it. If you desire her presence, don't hide it. The more authentic you are, the deeper the impact will be. When a woman feels desired and appreciated, she blossoms. She becomes more confident, more open, more radiant in your presence. She starts to associate you with the best parts of herself because she feels at her most alive when she's with you. And do you know what happens next? She begins to crave more of that feeling. She begins to crave more of you. This is why relationships often lose their spark, not because love disappears, but because appreciation fades. People stop expressing gratitude, stop showing desire, and slowly the fire dims. But when you make a conscious effort to never let that fade, when you continue to remind her through your words and actions that she is both desired and appreciated, the spark never dies. In fact, it grows stronger with time. It's also important to understand that women are not just drawn to the feeling of being desired physically. They're drawn to the feeling of being wanted emotionally and mentally too. When you show her that you admire her thoughts, her ideas, and her presence, you touch a part of her soul that goes beyond surface attraction. That is the kind of desire that makes her say, "This man doesn't just want my body, he wants me, all of me." And appreciation. It can be as simple as a thank you, as simple as acknowledging her efforts, or as deep as reminding her of the impact she has on your life. Every time you show appreciation, you build a stronger bond. Every time you express desire, you build deeper intimacy. Together, they create a cycle that keeps her coming back for more. The truth is, women don't go crazy over men who simply look good, have money, or say the right lines. They go crazy over men who make them feel desired in a real way and appreciated in a lasting way. When you give her that, you stand out. You become the man she thinks about, the man she talks about, the man she wants to hold on to. So never underestimate this power. Desire keeps the fire alive. Appreciation keeps the bond strong. And together, they create the feeling that makes a woman fall not just once, but over and over again. That is the feeling that makes women go crazy about you. One of the most powerful feelings you can give a woman is the sense that her life is brighter, more exciting, and more inspired because you are in it. Women don't just want comfort, they want passion. They don't just want consistency, they want energy, growth, and adventure. When a woman feels inspired by you, when she feels like you bring light into her life and add excitement to her world, she doesn't just enjoy being with you. She craves it. She starts to connect your presence with joy, with possibility, with a sense of living more fully. And that is an irresistible feeling. Think about it. We all meet people who drain our energy, who make us feel heavier when we're around them. Then there are those rare people who do the opposite. They lift us. They challenge us. They bring out the best in us, not by forcing anything, but simply by the way they live, the way they talk, the way they move through the world. When you become that kind of man for a woman, when she leaves your presence feeling more alive than before, she will keep coming back to you again and again. Inspiration can take many forms. Sometimes it's about showing passion for your own life. When you chase your goals, when you live with purpose, when you wake up every day with energy and determination, you radiate an energy that women can't ignore. Passion is contagious. A woman who sees you deeply engaged in what you love will naturally feel drawn to that energy. It tells her you are not stagnant, that you are not stuck, that you are moving forward, and she wants to be part of that journey. Excitement, on the other hand, is about the way you create experiences together. Women don't want to feel stuck in routines all the time. They want to feel like life with you is a story worth telling. That doesn't mean you need to constantly plan elaborate adventures or spend money on extravagant trips. It means you bring creativity into your time together. It could be as simple as surprising her with something thoughtful, taking her to a new place, or even just adding spontaneity into the everyday moments. When she never quite knows what exciting experience might come next, she associates you with fun, with energy, with that spark that keeps life interesting. But inspiration also comes from the way you treat her dreams and her passions. A woman feels inspired when the man beside her doesn't just focus on his own growth, but also supports hers. When you encourage her ambitions, when you remind her of her strengths, when you believe in her even in moments when she doubts herself, you give her a priceless gift. You give her the courage to rise higher. You become the man who not only shares in her victories, but also helps her get there. And that creates a bond far deeper than simple attraction. That's partnership. That's what makes her think, with this man, I can do more, be more, live more. Never underestimate the power of positivity. When you bring light instead of negativity, when you bring solutions instead of constant problems, when you bring laughter instead of complaints, you set yourself apart instantly. Women already face enough pressure, enough stress, enough weight in their daily lives. When she comes to you and feels relief, when she feels joy bubbling up simply because of your presence, she will start to associate you with peace and happiness. That's how she knows you're not just a man she wants in her life. You're a man she doesn't want to live without. You see, it's not about perfection. You don't have to be flawless, and you don't have to always get everything right. What matters is the consistent effort to add value to her world, to bring energy instead of draining it, to add joy instead of taking it away. Even small gestures can create that feeling. a playful moment when she's stressed, an encouraging word when she feels unsure, a shared laugh when life feels heavy. These are the moments that stick with her. These are the moments that make her smile later, even when you're not around. And here's the beautiful part: when you inspire her, she begins to reflect that inspiration back onto you. She becomes more alive, more joyful, more motivated, and that energy flows right back into the relationship. The two of you start to build something that lifts both of you higher. That's when attraction turns into partnership. That's when love becomes something that doesn't fade, but grows stronger with time. So many men focus only on what they can get from a woman, but the real magic begins when you shift your focus to what you can give her. What kind of experience, what kind of energy, what kind of feeling you can create for her. Because when you give her the feeling that life with you is exciting, meaningful, and inspiring, she will give you more love, more trust, and more devotion than you ever imagined. At the end of the day, women go crazy for the men who make them feel alive. The men who remind them that life is not just about surviving, but about thriving. The men who light up their world with joy, adventure, support, and inspiration. If you can be that man, if you can be the one who adds excitement instead of monotony, encouragement instead of doubt, laughter instead of stress, then you will always stand out. Because when a woman feels that her life is brighter, bigger, and better with you in it, she won't just want you, she'll need you. That is the feeling that makes women go crazy about you.